There were people, back in the history, like Usman bin Affan, he used to read the whole Quran in one rakah. So this is the understanding Salah, right? The first of all, right? So our whole course is a 3 or 4 months course. It's, basically, divided into 2 parts, right? The first part is the Salah, right? The Salah, and after that we can just divide this Salah into 2 groups, like 2 types, how we're gonna study here, and also there is the Arabic too, right? Arabic, right? Why do we have to study Arabic? We can just go through the Salah and then that's it with it. Is there any need?
Yeah, because we do Salah in Arabic.
In Arabic, right? In Arabic, right? So do you have anything? Can you add something else?
Same thing, to understand what we are reading.
Yeah, the Salah. So what about the Quran? Quran is different, right? Is it different or not?
We read Quran and
Yeah,
Salah.
that's it. That's the main purpose of the Quran, is to read in the Salah, right? As a Muslim, like, we just want to do just something, like we say the Khali Balli, right, in Arabic, right? Just we have memorized some of the surah, that's how we always do. But there were people, back in the history, like Usman bin Affan, he used to read the whole Quran in one rakah, right? One rakah. Not only him, the Prophet himself, right? He used to read like 6 juz all together in one rakah, right? So first, let me start with the Salah, right? Salah. So basically, like, we're gonna focus on the meaning of the Salah, right? Meaning of the Salah, starting from maybe before this Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika, or maybe Al-Fatiha, right? Each word of the Salah, and just try to, find out the meaning of it, right? Based on what? The basic grammar plus vocabulary, right? Basic grammar and the vocabulary. Plus, we can even do the pronunciation, right? We can just practice the surahs, and we can, work on our pronunciation too. So it's not just one course, it's the course for the Arabic and the prayer and the pronunciation. Plus, here, this is the best thing about it, is the question and answers, right? I'm gonna explain the essential and basic things in prayer, right? As a Muslim, we just pray, but there are some things you're gonna find out today, right? And I'm gonna start this course, that they are really very basic things and essential things. If you don't know it, maybe you might pray and your prayer won't be accepted, right? Here, right? That's what we're going to talk about it, knowledge. Like, it's usually the conditions of the prayer, and the faraiz and arkan and wajibat and sunan, as much as we can just take into. But after all this, right, really, that's the problem nowadays. People just talk about you have to pray while standing, and you have to put your hands here, and there, right? So basically, in this course, my focus is going to be, I'm going to give you the rulings, right? But along with this, I'm just going to give you, the main purpose is your heart should be, you should concentrate in the prayer with your heart, right? Like the Prophet ﷺ in Hadith Jibreel, he said that you should pray as you are watching Allah right in front of you, right? Right in front of you, as you can see me, right? Or if you can't, create this, status right in front of you, so just consider that Allah is watching you, yeah? And you will never, ever get this, kind of, visual without the understanding what? Arabic and the conversation between you and Allah, right? So just imagine there's a 5-10 minutes I was talking in here, what? In English, right? إذا أبدأ نتكلم معك باللغة العربية هل تفهم شيء, right? If I just go like this 1 hour, so next class you're not gonna come back, right? Why? Because you don't understand. And that's why it's a kind of crazy stuff. We just spare our time here because the people are so busy here, right? We just spare our time 15 minutes altogether, like 1 hour, and we just go and just stand there, and we just say and talk in a language we don't know anything about it, right? So that's why we get bored. That's why people just come and they say that, it's very difficult for us to pray, right? They say it's very difficult for us to pray because we don't understand. If we understand, right, each and everything, when you say Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, Allah replies. He replied, right? And the Prophet ﷺ, he told us this, right? We couldn't find Allah, but he told us that you say Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, Allah replies, and you say Hamidani Abdi. You say Ar-Rahman Rahim, he replies. Maliki Yawmiddin, he replies. So each and every sentence you say, Allah replies. Yeah. How are we going to get this? How are we going to know this? The basic knowledge and the hadith. The more you read about the Islam, the more you have the concentration, right? You got it, right? So the first thing, the first focus is going to be, I'm going to give you the 50 words. 50 words, like just 50 words of Arabic, right? Mostly it's going to be like some pronouns, right? Plus you have a prepositions and plus some verbs, right? So I'm going to start with this, just only 50 words. Repeated in the Quran more than 18,000 times, right? So if you just get 50 words, so you get 18,000 words of the Quran, right? I'm going to talk about the the vocabulary of the Quran too, right? And I hope then, and after that you might go to our other class, Arabic, right? In order to continue, right? People don't understand these things nowadays, like they say Umar bin Abdul Aziz, right? You can't imagine this thing, right? Never ever you get it, unless you get a very strong glasses, made up of hadith, right? Because everything we got from Allah, right? You can't see Allah. Now the Prophet, he came 1400 years ago, right? So everything related to Islam, Quran, and Allah, how we got it, right? Through Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And you can even challenge. If you bring a hadith, you say that I don't believe in hadith, this hadith, right? I'm going to bring evidence. Our Islam is not hanging in the air, right? We have very, very strong evidence. And even if you go outside, the non-Muslims, the PhD and the scholar, they admit this. They say that the way the Muslims have preserved their knowledge is awesome, right? So that's why, if you put very strong glasses, you think that there are three people. No, never. The Prophet, and I believe in Prophet and whatever he has said, each and everything. He said that whenever there is some place like this, the angels, there are angels, they just come, and sometimes it's crowded so much until from the earth till Bayt Ma'mur. There is one Kaaba there on the 7th heaven. So these places are crowded by this, and if someone tell you that after this class, here the way the things work outside, if you work 1 hour, you will be paid like 50, 60, maybe $500 or whatever, right? That's how it works. If someone tell you that spend 2 hours here, right, and then go to any company outside, right, and just bring 2 brand new cars out of it, right? Because you have spent 2 hours, right? And the cars are gonna be the most expensive you can get. Maybe you can get Ferrari, right? So what about it? Even the non-Muslim, they will come here, right? To just get 2 hours. And that's what the Prophet, he told us, right? He said that along with his companions, where they don't have anything to eat. So he said that who would like to go outside in the market and get 2 Ferraris of that time, right? So they said, we do. He said, sit down here, just understand one verse of Quran is better than these 2 cars, right? So where are these cars? You just have to wait. How long? 30 years, 40 years, and there's gonna be the cars there. If you do, everyone believes, right, in Prophet, whatever he has said, because there is a lot of things outside. People say it's hadith, especially because of the social media. You find out the WhatsApp and this and that. People just forward each and everything, lies about Prophet. Yeah? Anything, if I say, you can just challenge. Anything I teach you, you can just challenge me. So you say that I don't believe in this, right? I'm going to bring the evidence. Okay, you got it, right? So don't think that there is 1 person and 2 person and this one. If you are all alone, right, it's enough, right? There are malaikas with you, right? Especially because of this, I told them even, right? There are some sins, if you do it, Allah is so angry, right? If He hasn't made this world, right, as a exam. You know, if you do something, the earth will take you inside, right? There are some sins that's happening there all over the world, but this thing is for test and exam, right? But on the other hand, there are some things, right, some virtues and some good deeds. If you do it, if Allah is angry, that makes Allah happy. And this is one of the things. Outside there is a code, like if you come to the masjid and you do wudu, and you come to the masjid, that makes Allah happy. See that He always collect all the angels and He says, look at him, look at him. You know, he has other things to do, and he can't even drive outside, but after all this he's going there because he loves, right? He loves to understand Quran. He loves to understand what? Salah, right? So these are the things, like nowadays especially is the material outside, people don't understand these things, right? In order to get these things, you have to have some basic knowledge of hadith and this one, right? Okay. So do you have any question here, right? I studied there, like I'm gonna give my introduction to, like if you, so thing is I'm giving you the information, right, about your prayer, and I'm gonna, it's not just I'm gonna tell you that do this and do this, right? I'm gonna give you a lot of information about the prayer, right? So you should know about me, like, because that's what, like, you might think that, oh, he's bringing up himself, right? He's bringing out himself. So I have to, you know, provide you about, tell you about my qualifications so that you will be comfortable, right? You are in a safe hands as for your religion, right? The problem is we go outside, you don't know, right? Because of these social media and this, you know, people just talk about Islam. And that's why people just hate Islam, because they're just getting the information that people don't know anything about it, right? So when I'm gonna put the PowerPoint, you can just. So that's why, like, you can ask me questions, I don't mind it, right? I came from the place where people ask, right? And here the place is, you know, as a parents, the kids, they just ask you, why do we have to, so it's very good, right? It's not, don't let them stop, let them ask, because the Ibrahim, he used to ask, right? When he was small. So it means that he is genius. The kid who asks a lot of questions, he is genius. Don't say that, oh, just forget about it, forget. The thing is, the scholars outside, they don't have knowledge, that's why they just want you to stop. So, fiqh. You didn't ask me what's the meaning of fiqh, right? Do you know it? What's the meaning of fiqh? So I'm going to talk about it, right? It's better, like anything I write down, if you don't know, just ask me what's the fiqh. What does it mean, right? What does it mean? So my specialization is in this, like three things. Like one is the fiqh, right? Fiqh is the Islamic jurisprudence, means that we have great scholars, the four imams, like, so we have studied that each and every opinion of each and every imam, you know. And there is a question you're going to ask me, right? If the Quran and Hadith is same, so why there is a lot of different opinions, right? Right? This is a question. That's why we studied, like, you know, if the Quran and Hadith is same, why Imam Abu Hanifa say, Imam Malik, and say, why is there the different opinions, right? That's why we studied the whole, like, 4 years, right? We have studied this whole fiqh this way, right? So that's why I did my specialization is in the fiqh, right? And along with, like, hadith, like I have memorized a lot of hadith and this one, and let me tell you that if you go back, maybe I don't know, in the sciences, I don't know, like there is gonna be, like in medical field, there is gonna be the one, you know, field that's gonna be the most difficult field of the whole medical. Maybe it's related to I don't know, right?
Neurosurgery.
Yeah, it's the most difficult. Maybe you have to study more in this one. So when you come to the Islamic knowledge, the most difficult knowledge is the knowledge of hadith. You need 20, 30, 40, 50 years just to get the grab of this, because the tafsir and you know, Arabic and these things are very easy, right? Very easy. Most difficult, one of the difficult knowledge is the hadith. It's very difficult. You should have a computerized memory just to get everything, and it's not easy. You have to get each and everything and put it on the, you know, rules, right? So my specialization is hadith too, and along with I have done a lot about the history too, right? History of Islam, right? So this is my specialization. It's really very sad about it. Like when we have to go outside to just check for our body, yeah, we do all the reviews, we do this and that and this, and after that we go to the people, right? When it comes to our soul, right? Soul, you have a heart, you have each and everything. We just go to each and every person, unqualified people, to just ask the questions. That's happening, right? Put everything on the Google, everything is gonna come, right? That's why we have problems, right? So that's why I'm telling you that whatever I'm gonna tell you based on everything, right? Sometimes in order to check a hadith, we have to spend like 5-6 hours just to check the hadith, is this hadith right or not, and this one, right? So that's why I'm keep saying this, not just to tell you that so that you will be comfortable. Whatever I'm talking about is, from the truthful and the sources, right? Okay. So I'm gonna come back again here, right? Okay. So can you guess anything? What is it? Just guess.
I mean, compulsory means like that you definitely have to do before you start.
Right. I know. I know that these compulsories are not related with this, but this is the basic thing. Like I did the Arabic, right? I did the parts of speech, right? So this thing is because you have to relate this thing with what? Fiqh. You didn't ask me what's the meaning of fiqh, right? So I'm not gonna answer right now, right? So I'm gonna tell you after that fiqh. What's the fiqh, right? So this thing is related to this one. Like whatever you do, like as a Muslim we have to do, like we have some beliefs, right? As a Muslim we have to believe. Like, but if you go outside and a Christian comes to you and he says, okay, you are Muslim, I want to be a Muslim, but just give me your beliefs. Beliefs, not actions, right? Beliefs. So we have as a Muslim like 5 beliefs or 6 beliefs or 7 beliefs, right? It's not a belief class, like creed class, that this is the other topic, right? So as a Muslim we have to do like, these are the beliefs. You do these beliefs simple, like 5 beliefs, right? And 5 actions, that's it, right? As a Muslim you have to do simple, right? It's not a like rocket science, right? Simple, 5, right? So actions, and we are talking about one action out of these actions, right? One is the shahada, okay? What are the 5 beliefs? The first one is shahada, belief, creed, right? And the first action is shahada, right? What's the difference between this? You said the 5 beliefs, the first one is shahada, right? 5 action, first one is shahada. What's the difference?
You believe and you act on it.
Yeah, it's right, but it's not right. Yeah, you're right, but there is something else, right? Because if you believe and you consider, don't act according to it, you're still Muslim. You are a Muslim, right? But there is something else. There is a minor difference. Every day we do it, but something we don't think about it, right? So what is it? What's the difference? There's a minor difference.
I mean, one is that you believe in it, and the other is you are saying it.
Yeah, that's what. You utter it, right? That's why we are born as a Muslim. We don't have to say it, right? So why do we do this with the reverse, right? They have to say it. That's the saying is the action, right? After that, you act upon it's other thing, like you will be rewarded more and more, right? You got it, right? Yeah. This is the minor difference, to utter from your tongue. We as a Muslim, we don't have to say it, right? Well, especially when someone reverts, he has to say it, right? You got it, right? It's not topic like it's going to take all the time. So we are talking about the first action, which is the second action, which is the prayer, right? We are here again back, right? Compulsory, not compulsory. So that's why I'm saying that all the actions, right? You're gonna find out these terminologies there, right? Especially when you go to the scholars in the masjid, listen to the lecture, they say this is this, this is this, this is this, this is this. I'm just, what is this? What is compulsory?
It's first.
Okay, right, you got it, right? So I don't know, maybe it's easy for you to say this fard than this one. If it's easy for you, the same like in Arabic, right? If it's easy for you, you take it. It's good for you. Like, but I'm trying to make it things very easy for you. Yeah, because especially sometimes the reward people, they come, if I say fard, they just always their thought is, in the fard, they couldn't get anything, right? And I really want you to get this one. These are the basic knowledge, right? And everything is gonna come on this, right? Okay, so here you said this one. I'm just gonna write down something. Okay, so this is what, you know the mnemonics, right? You know the mnemonics. I'm just making this one. Mnemonics mean that you just get the first, the word, and then after that you make something, right? You said fard, right? So you got it, right? Fard? For, right? I made it for, right? For, because you guys know more English, right? So that's why I try to make it everything easy for you, right? Here, for mean for. Got it? For. Okay, what about here? So you got the idea what I want here, right? So you have to find something related to this, and this should be compulsory, right? Okay.
This would be wajib.
Wajib, right? So if you say the wudu is kind of part related to what? Salah. How many actions are there? I told you the 5 actions, right? We are discussing one. This whole course is about prayer, right? And wudu is a part of it, right? Then, so I'm talking about the basic terminologies for all the actions. Whatever as a Muslim you do, each and everything is gonna lie here, right? Okay, so you got 2, right? Okay, here, let's do this here. You have okay. So you know the idea, right? So you got 2, right? It's a kind of this is it. You have to find it, right? Okay. Muqida, okay. That's what they say. Muqida, that's it. Okay, it's okay, no problem. Okay. Okay.
Sunnah.
Nafal, right? Yeah. Where it should be G, right?
Yes.
I heard something that was right? Okay. Yeah, it was right. So, like when I say that, how could you put a ram mukida here when it's a compulsory, right? That's why it should be moved, right? Okay. And here? There is Haram, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I think you got 90% right. Here it's a mustahab, right? This thing is mustahab here. Here we said the fard. Here, what? Fard.
Fard is something mandatory, and if you don't do that, then
You are sinner, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I got it, right? Here,
but it is obligatory.
yeah, I think that choosing the other,
The right.
other vocabulary word is not gonna affect it, right?
It's mandatory to do.
Yeah.
It's mandatory to do.
Mandatory, but
So okay,
without the sin, if you don't do that.
yeah. So listen. Even in the what happens is, you can sometimes change the verse of Quran. like just to test, right? So don't be offended. Like I know that a lot of people they don't. You have to say whatever you know, right? The time you're gonna do the mistake, that's what I want, right? You do the mistake, that I give you the information, it's gonna stuck here, right? That's what, right? So don't be offended, right? You are here. If you know it, you would be outside, right? There are a lot of people there. They know everything, right? Yeah. So don't worry about it, right? Okay, what about it? So you said that it's a necessary, but you will not be punished if you leave this, right? Okay, that's the difference between this one. Okay.
No, I think wajib is also something if you don't do, it's compulsory on you
Okay.
to do it.
So what's the difference between this one and this one? It starts with the F and this starts with 2,
Yeah.
right? Spelling is same, right? There should be some difference, like, did you ever?
I think first is you pray in every salah, but wajib is
Few.
Right.
It's
few
wajib.
so yeah.
Yeah. Is any difference? Have you ever asked any of the imams or something, what's the difference between fard and wajib? You just hear fard is a wajib, it's a fard, it's a wajib, right? Yeah, I'm gonna go in each and everything, right? I tell you that. So still, like, I didn't get the answer, like, what's the difference between this one and that one, right? Okay, so let's go to the next one. The still question is here, right? Different, right? Okay, here.
That's what I said. Recommended that if you do it, it's good.
You do it, right?
If it is good, if you do it, it's good. If it's not, you are not a sinner.
Oh, okay, okay. What about?
Sunnah is what Rasulullah did and you're following his teachings.
Do you? Okay, Sunnah is whatever the Prophet
What Prophet
ﷺ did, right? Right? Prophet didn't do this?
Oh yeah, he did.
So why do I have to put it there? To mean that this definition is not going to work. Right? The Prophet did the fard and he did the wajib and yeah, you're right. Even the book is going to say that the sunnah is whatever the Prophet has done. So it's a mustahab and sunnah. Okay. Still here, right? That is a minor thing. You will not find out these things. Maybe you will never ever find out. That's why I have to tell you that these are my qualifications so that you will be comfortable, right? And everything is gonna make sense, right? You can stop me, right? I say that the Prophet didn't do the fard, he did it, right?
Yeah.
Wajib, he did it, yeah? And he did this too. So why do I have to put sunnah here, right?
Because that's not fard.
It's not fard, right? Yeah, it's not
It's
fard
not,
because it's not
sometimes
here,
it is.
right? It's not here, so it's not fard. And it's not wajib either, right? And it's not haram either, right?
Yes.
It's not makruh, right? Yeah, so sunnah. Okay, we can leave it right now. What about it?
Feel is bonus.
It's bonus,
Bonus.
added
Bonus.
bonus.
Well, if I say that this is bonus too, yeah? Or I say the outside is extra credit, right?
Yeah.
So even this is extra credit, this is, so, I'm still confused about it,
Yeah.
right? Okay, let's leave it. We're gonna do after prayer. What about,
Something you're not supposed to do. No, makruh is like
Rasulullah recommended
not to do it.
not to do it, right? Even he did, they recommended to not
Haram.
do this one too, right?
Makruh is he didn't like it. Maybe his dislike.
He dislike.
It is like this, okay, right? And what about it?
Haram is it's not
Forbidden.
allowed by.
It's not allowed.
It's
Right.
forbidden.
Okay, I think this is right according to the books, right? That anything that's disliked by, Islam, because when we say Rasulullah, because Allah, there are other things that's in the Quran, right? They say these are disliked. That's what they say. The makruh is disliked, but I think it's gonna be difficult for you. I'm gonna give you other thing, right? This is everything is gonna make a sense. If you don't understand, you have to stop me because I'm stopping you, right?
Yes.
I'm saying it's wrong, right? You have to do the same thing with me, right? Okay.
This classification are you doing in specific to the Salah or just overall?
Everything. That's why I say that. This, don't think that this is just this course. I tell you that you can confuse, you can give hard time we say that napo chane chuba denge, right? You can do it with any imam with this, right? Don't do it, but just if someone tried to tell you that you don't pray, tell me the difference, okay? So we can stop here, we can complete this after prayer, right? It's a prayer time, right? Okay, so we can stop here. I'm going to explain this, what is it. So we don't know the difference between this one, right? We don't know, right? Okay. The same here. No, don't know. I think same here, don't know the difference, right? Really, these things are really very minor. I tell you that, that they're really important, right? Whatever you hear, we should know that when they say that it's a farq. Let me give you one example. The example is, like 3 witrs, we do it right after Isha. They are wajib, right? They are wajib. And Isha prayer is farq. So what's the difference? What's the difference?
You can pray wajib even after hours, I guess. Because as far as you have to, for Isha,
Yeah.
because that's only prayer with wajib. So sometimes with tahajjud you can, wake up and pray wajib and pray tahajjud.
Oh yeah. This is really very important answer, right? It should be a question right after that, right? Because there is going to be a lot of related to this, right? I really want like this question, like, no, it's not right. Both you have to do it. Because if I say that it's a compulsory, right? It's a compulsory, so both you have to do it, right?
Even though you have to make up the wajib also, if
Yeah,
you
you
leave
have to.
qaza.
Yeah. That's why the people that there is a, like when we're gonna come on the question and answer, you're gonna ask me that do we have to, redo all the prayers, whatever we have, we just left in the past and this one. So if yes, then you have to do wajibat too, right? This was the opinion, right? But I'm gonna talk about it. There's a lot of details in this, right? But just I have to say that there should be a question there, right? What's the difference between this one? If I say that the 2 rakats before Fajr prayer, the 2 rakats before Fajr prayer are wajib, right? So do you have to do the wajib or not? Like, if you miss it, you have to do it till Zohar of this day, and after that, it's gone, right? You lost dunya wa ma fiha. The Prophet said that if you pray it, you will be rewarded. Whatever is between this dunya wa ma fiha, whatever is in the space and this life, you will just abandon the space of this whole world. Like Allah was ready to give you something, at the day in Akhirah, but you just missed it. You missed it, right? And you will be sinner or not. Like here, so we're gonna go in the details and we're gonna talk about it, right? Okay, so there is a difference, right? And there is a difference and there is no difference, right? What does it mean, right? Because I wrote these 2 things under it, so there is no difference. Both are compulsory. You have to do it. If you don't do it, you are sinner. You will be punished. That's what it means, right? So the difference between this one and this one, like if we try to put, right, the first period, like you see that they say you have to breathe, right, in order to survive, and you have to eat in order to survive, right? Which one is important? Both things are compulsory, right? I can put it here, right? But which one is the most important, right? If it breathe, right? Breathing, right? Because you're gonna die it up. And the other thing is, if you try to put the ranking between these things, so first is gonna come farq and the other thing is gonna come wajib, right? There is a question. Do you have a question on this? You should have it.
Yeah, why is the distinction then, like?
Right, that's why I want it.
Because if you eat sooner or later, you have to die.
That's why I want it. So, but just giving you one example I give you is really important for you to breathe, right? Like I give you the same example so that you give me the question. So I got the question, right? When I said that breathing is important for you and eating is important for you, right? Or just forget about it. Water is important for you and the eating is important. Which one is the most important, right? Water, right? Can't survive with that. So how do you know? How do you know? I can ask you. Me, I don't know any science, right? I just came from jungle, right? You tell me that I don't know. Maybe breathing, I know it, right? And the other thing like eating or water, I don't know it, right? If I came from jungle or mountains, right, I don't know it, right? You studied the science and you know this one, and that you studied the researches, and that's why you are qualified people, right? That's why you say that the water is more important for your body than eating, right? Because you have a knowledge. So the same thing here, right? The scholars, they have the knowledge of Islam. They know what's the Quran, what's the Hadith. They have spent their whole lives, right? The same way, not same way. Like we work here 8 hours and after that we have 2 days off, right? We have 2 days off, we work 8 hours and then after that we have 16 hours, we don't work, right? So the scholar, they have spent their whole lives, 7 days a week. 7 days a week, not 5 days. 7 days a week, not 8 hours, but 18 hours, sometimes 20 hours, right? We used to sleep like 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, right? And the science supports this. There are the kings, they just used to sleep 1 hour and 2 hours. It's not rare, right? So they have spent 60 years, 70 years, 80 years of their life on Quran and Hadith, like see. If there is something like Fard, like Isha, you have Isha, this Isha is supported by Allah says that compulsory, mean the Quran says this one, and there are maybe 500 hadiths, different hadiths that say that you have to pray Isha. You got it? Are you getting it right? Or maybe for wajib you just have 20. Yeah, are you getting it? Because the Prophet on different occasions he said that maybe 500 times. It's not that you have to pray. You have to pray. Even the Quran says that you have to pray. And yeah, like I have to tell you that you will get this. It's a jurisprudence, right? So let's come on the language, right? I don't know English more than you. Like I'm gonna go on Urdu, and so I'm gonna tell you that, like the way we address our kids, and we say that, "Jaldi jao ye karo kaam, jaldi jao ye karo," right? This is one way to command them. Jao udhar karo kaam, right? This is one. The other way say that have to do it, right? Yes. There's a different, like the same way you have to do it. You have to do it. Okay. So whenever Allah Ta'ala He talks in the Quran this way, right? He talks like Wallahi, or you have to do it, right? Otherwise I'm gonna talk with you, right? That's what they say it here. Back that how they deal with the kids, right? So when Allah talks in this tone, it means that it's a fard. You got it? Like he can't bear it if you leave it, right? So it's very difficult. That's why I have to say that we have to give the credit to the scholars. They just sat down. They have to look the tune. And you couldn't find it after you get the sum, right? You got it, right? So if I tell you that تكاد السماوات يتفطرن منه وتنشق الأرض وتخر الجبال حتى, this is the atom bomb. But you're not gonna get what's the meaning of this, right? You got it, right? So that's how it is. Like if any action, any action is supported by the hadith, most of the majority of the hadith, and the tune, right? The tune in which Allah is talking and ordering you is kind of hard, and that's why they declared it's a fard, right? So you got it, right? And I give you the example from the science, right? You know it, like the researches have been done, and this, you just believe them, so you have to believe here too, right? Okay, the first is like if you have two options, like one is fard and the other is wajib, what you're gonna take it first, the fard, right? Because the senior most, right? You have to do it. Okay, just to make it very easier, this one, if you have to rank it, first you're gonna put fard and then the same thing, right? If you have to write, you have to go down. Here you have to go out like this. Here. They say like makruh mean karaha, and then after that they have different, this one. This is very simple just to make it, because when I'm going to talk about makruh tanzihi, makruh ghair tanzihi, and it's haram, it's sunnah muakkida, it's sunnah ghair muakkida, that's the problem, right? That's why your concepts are not clear. So you got it?
Right.
This one, the same thing here. When Allah says that don't do it, right? And Allah said that, don't even think about it. Yeah, when He said, don't even think about it, right? It's just one example, right? I don't know a lot, like it's Urdu, I can give a lot of examples, right? And you know the tunes, right? The way people talk about it. And we say that, oh, he was so angry, right? They say that he was so angry, the tune, right? We get it because we know the language, right? So we don't know the Arabic, that's why we have to believe the scholar. They have spent their lives, right, 60 years, 70. I tell you the one example, there was a scholar in Makkah, he used to deliver a tafsir, right? Tafsir, 7 days a week, not 5 days, 7 days a week. So he started from Fatiha, right? He has done this for the 40 or 60 years of his life without any break. 7 days in Makkah, right? So he died and he couldn't finish Surah Baqarah. Have you got it? And Baqarah is the first one, right? If we start here, we're gonna finish in 1 month and 1.5 months, right? You got it? So this is the makruh. If you have to rank something, right? The first makruh, they say that it's a disliked, and then after they go into the different this one, but it's very simple. Like you don't have to do it. Like, but this is least, like harmful, right, to you, right?
So
this
if you do something which is makruh, so it is a sin?
Yeah, it is a sin based on this one, right?
So, yeah.
But
so it's a lesser sin than...
Yeah, lesser.
But still a sin.
Lesser. So the thing is, like, there's gonna be a lot outside, like, yeah, so you should focus on these things and the fard and this one, right? The more you're gonna go in the details, the more you're gonna find out that what's the meaning of the Bible. When I'm gonna add more examples, you will understand this more, right? And you can go and you can have different opinion about this, but whatever I heard here, it was right. That's what they say, that something disliked by Islam. Something disliked by Islam. But after that, if I go in that, I don't have time, right? Otherwise, if I go in the detail, so it's a kind of contradiction. You're not gonna take it, because when they say makruh, and then they say there are two types. One is, if you do it, it's okay. If you like, they, like in Arab, they have a dab. The dab is like a lizard, right? Type, like it's a very big, right? They used to eat it, and then it came on the table of Prophet, and he said, I don't want it, right? I don't want, you can eat it, I don't want it, right? So they said, is it ahu haram? Is it haram? So he said, no, it's not haram. I don't like it. I don't want it. So that's why they say it's a makruh. It's a makruh, right? But after that, they have to make the two kinds of makruh here. Because the companions of Prophet, they were eating, but there are some things of makruh, right? You understand, right? So, just to make it easier, the same thing here, I'm going to talk about it. This is the main thing. Maybe you're not going to like it, right? But when I'm going to come on Sunnah, I have to explain this one, because when they say muakkida, ghayr muakkida, and this one, right? So maybe you, okay, is it clear, right? Is it clear? Running out of time. So we are done with this and this one. We got it?
I have a quick question. So when you say makruh, means it's disliked by our Prophet ﷺ, or is Allah is disliked by Allah?
Okay, so when we say that, this is the difference. When we say that the Prophet and the Quran say, وَمَا يَنْتِقُ عَنِ الْهَوَىٰ إِنْ هُوَ إِلَّا وَحْيٌ يُوحَىٰ. Whatever, not a single word the Prophet utters without the permission of Allah. So when we say Prophet, like, I have to be more careful. That's why I'm saying that Islam, right? Just to take each and everything in it. That's why I'm So when you say the Prophet, it means that he has taken everything from the Allah, right? Yeah, you got it, right? So if we go in the detailed science of Hadith and this one, so there are a lot to talk about it, right?
And one other question on this, is haram, if something is haram, can be just from the Hadith, or it usually is in Quran as well?
Okay.
So if it's for something which is like...
Okay, so you ask me the question, just do that. That's why sometimes I do this. You ask me question, I'm going to ask you, right? Question. The question is, right, maybe you heard about it, like, you pray right now, Maghrib, right? Just go, and I challenge you, right? Go back and open the Quran and find out the way how to pray. You will never ever find it. Got it? Yeah, you got it. You got it. Because there is outside the people, they say that the Quran is enough for us, we don't need what? Hadith, right? And that's what happening outside in the universities here, right? I'm not going to talk about it, right? But that's why, like, you even can't pray. These people, they pray. And what they say, we just believe on Quran, right? Okay, bring it out. Okay, the Quran says that aqimus salatu wa atu zakah. How to purify your wealth by just paying the zakah. The Quran doesn't talk about it, right? Or how to pray, Quran doesn't talk about it. How to do fast, Quran doesn't talk about it. So Quran says that make hajj and do hajj, Quran doesn't talk about it, right? So the basics are this. And we can go in the debate and this. People say that, yeah? If you want to just, because people say that we don't believe in this because it was written after that and this and that. So you say that, okay, forget about it, I'm not going to talk about it. So you go, I challenge you, you stay here in United States, go back to your lawyers, all the lawyers, just sit down there, the whole court system, sit down there, and the whole constitution of the whole United States, put it in a book. I challenge you. Whatever is happening in all the states, just make a one booklet. They never ever they won't be able to do it, right? They have to go there, they have to in this detail, and it changes, right? The rules and regulations before, like 100 years were different, like whatever happened, right? They were different, the civil war and whatever. You know this one, right? So even these people, they bring out this stuff. They say, "Oh, Quran is enough." Oh, come on, this is mean that these people don't know about it. It's not easy to just summarize. Yeah, in Quran, the basics for each and every detail of the life of the Muslim is there. But how to do it, that's what Allah has stored the prophets here, so they can explain.
But my question was that are all the haram things mentioned in Quran, or there are some which are not mentioned?
No, they are not, right? But the basic things, like the 5 things or 7 things or the 10 things, the Christians, they have the 10 commandments, and this the same thing we have in the Quran. Qul man harrama dina. The basics and these things you can find it in, right? Okay, we are done with this and we're done with this, right? Okay, so here we are mustahab and sunnah and nafal. Like, here these things are not compulsory, but just to make it easier, like it's an extra credit, right? If you do it, you know that we are as a Muslims, right? We as a Muslim, we have a creed that we are made up of, like saying we are our dad, like Adam, he has done kind of sin, right? And after that, it's a detail like about the prophets and this one, forget about it. Like we believe that we are sinners, right? We're gonna do that. We have shortcomings doing things here. We have shortcomings here, right? How to fulfill this? That's why extra credit. That's what happens there outside. If you miss anything, the teacher say it's extra credit. This is all extra credit, right? Extra credit, right? And the thing is, like, you're gonna say that Sunnah is here. Sunnah means, like, when you say that, what's the definition of Sunnah or Hadith? That's why we say that whatever the Prophet did, whatever he said, whatever was done right in front of him, and he didn't say anything about it. So these are 3 types of Sunnah, right? When we talk about the definition of Sunnah, it's different, right? Because he has done the first 2, right? Wajib 2. But when we say Sunnah here, it means that it's extra credit, right? And I really need a question for this Sunnah. Because I said it's an extra credit, right? So you have to say something about it.
Because Sunnah will
Sunnah ghair muakkada, you have heard about it, muakkada, ghair muakkada, and this one. And I'm saying that it's extra credit. If you do it, you will be rewarded. If you don't do it, it's okay.
So all 3 of them are extra credits?
Yeah, these are extra credit. But outside you heard it and you even do it, right? So what about it? I want a question about this. I don't want to go outside and think about, oh, he's bringing something else. I have to tell you this one here, right? Because there are some scholars, they say that there are 2 types of Sunnah, right? Get it? Question? No?
So what are the 2 types of
One is muakkada and ghair muakkada. Did you hear about it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, what about it? If I say ghair غير مؤكدة and مؤكدة.
No, recommended, not recommended.
Okay, so if I say that this one is recommended, what does it mean? Recommended, right?
If you do it,
By the scholars. It's recommended.
Okay, so if you, what does it
By
mean?
hadith, in the hadith it's written.
So if you don't do it,
if you don't do it, you are sinner. You have to. You don't have to make up the salah or that sunnah, but you'll be sinful for not doing it, leaving it.
yeah, okay,
purposely.
okay, so do you agree?
No.
She said this.
No, I guess if it says not compulsory, you're not gonna get
No,
So
this
what
is
sick.
what
then
I'm saying.
muqaida?
This is what I'm saying it, right? This is what I'm saying it. What about the scholar? What do you have in your mind? Like, that's what I want to talk about.
As far as I know, muqaida is like something you sunnah, you do it. If you don't do it, you're sinful. If you leave it purposely, and then ghair muqaida is like Rasulullah did. Sometime he did, sometime he did not. He didn't
Right,
make it
right.
compulsory on you to do it.
Yeah.
So you are not sinful for leaving it,
So
even
did
though
you get
knowingly.
what did he say? What did she say?
No, I understood
You
what she's
understand.
saying.
So do you agree? No. So what do you have? Why don't you?
Because if we were sinned, then we would have been doing it,
Right.
right? That's my only thing. I mean, why would we leave it if we're gonna be sinned by
No,
it?
maybe the time is up.
Like sometime you purposely
Like in
leave
the-
it like
Yeah, like the asar, there is 4 sunnah.
Yeah.
4 or 5.
Yeah, I agree with you and I agree with you too, right? Because there are something that is gonna come in the fard. If you leave it, right? If you
Yeah.
leave it, right? You don't have to do it. Yeah, they're gonna come about it. If you just left it, right? There are scholars, they say this, just make it. Like if you borrow some money from someone and after that you die, you have to pay it back or not?
Yes.
You have to because for the fard, right? If you don't pray and you die, you have to pay it back or not? Oh, sorry. If you don't pray like long time and you die, if someone has to do it on your
No.
behalf,
No.
why? It was the problem.
For-
Okay,
it's only-
let me come there after that. If you didn't do your Hajj, Hajj is fard, right? You didn't do it, right? And it was fard on you for a while, right? And you died. Someone has to do on your behalf.
It's not necessary.
He
but-
has to do it.
They have to.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
for sure.
No.
Yeah.
It's not compulsory on the other person, right?
No.
On your behalf.
Yeah, that's right. But this person will be sinner. Like if some parents
Yeah,
they
yeah.
die, someone has to do it.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
No.
yeah, he has
Is
to
it?
do it. If you love your parents and you care about this person, just forget about it.
I mean,
if this
it's-
person left, that's it. So like if this person left like $1 million, right? And after that he died, the first thing you have to take. Nobody is allowed to touch this money. Not the son, not the daughter. Nobody is allowed to touch it, right? Until you take the money out, and you have. If he borrowed some money from someone and this one,
Pay it off.
you have to take
Pay
it
it
out. If he didn't do Hajj, you have to take it out and give someone so that he can go and do Hajj on his behalf. That's he has to do it. But the problem is that here, like especially if you, I don't want to say this one here, like back in our countries, the kids nowadays, now they don't care, right? They said that we want money. After that, they don't care, whatever the dad said and this one. That someone has to do it. You know, let me tell you, that the janaza came, that someone died from the companion and he came, and the Prophet know that he borrowed money from someone, right? And how much was this? 2 dirham, like maybe $10 at that time. So the Prophet said, and like it was his time, like he used to do the janaza. He said, "Sallu ala akhikum." He said, "You pray on it." That's what he said. So the Sahabas, you know, they became like he refused, like he abandoned. He doesn't want to pray. So they said, "What happened?" He said that he borrowed money and he didn't pay it back. So I don't want to pray on him. So one of the companions said, "Oh," so he was shocked and he said, "Okay, I am responsible for it." So then the Prophet said, "Okay, I'm going to pray," right? So we don't care about these things, right? That especially Hajj and these things. So that's why we have to, you know, like teach our kids so that they would know that these things, right? Like after we are gone, right? So
One question on that is if that is for an able, like a healthy person who had enough.
yeah, so we gonna talk like we don't have it. If we proceed this and we get all these students in all the courses, right? So we will proceed and go in the other, like the things,
Yes.
because the time we're gonna end the Salah, maybe at the endings I'm gonna start the fasting, right? I'm gonna go in the next section, and then Zakah, and then we have the Hajj, right?
Mhm.
And it's gonna be time for the Hajj too, right? So
Yes.
we're gonna go in all these things because there are conditions. Now when I'm gonna say the condition for Salah, conditions for Zakah, condition for Saum, condition for this. So I told you, right? I have to spend this time on this one because this is really very important. Like after that, like everything is gonna go there. And I'm not gonna repeat. I'm gonna say it was one compulsory, we did it, and then after that it goes there, right? You got it, right? Okay, so I'm gonna. Okay, that's right. Okay, so that's why I say that if someone dies, and after that someone has to do Hajj, right? Yes, on your behalf, right? If someone has to do the prayers, no, he doesn't have to do it. What's the ruling? There are rulings there back, right? That's why we have to study, we have to know it, right? These are the basic things, right? Especially if we know it, we're gonna promote these things to our kids, right? These are minor things, like otherwise we will be punished.
Other way to put the question is like you can do Hajj on someone's behalf, but can you pray on someone's behalf? Or can you do Salah on someone's behalf?
No, you can't do it except 2 rakahs. If you bring it, it's a $50 cost.
I didn't understand.
Yeah, it's
When
better
they-
not
when
understand.
they
I
die,
don't want to give,
For
right?
the janazah.
Janaza.
No, on someone's behalf. This is Janaza prayer, we are doing dua for him.
Sure.
We are doing dua for him, right? On someone's behalf.
Just
It's a $50, that's it, right? There is 2 rakahs. You can pray on someone. People are crazy outside, they're doing each and every stuff, like, you can't do it, right? You mean that you say that someone didn't pray and I'm gonna pray. There is a difference. You make the intention on someone's name. This is one thing, right? That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about if you pray and then after that you say, oh Allah, I prayed this one, so whatever I did, give the sawab and reward to someone. This is the other thing, right? If this comes, we're going to talk about it. I'm talking about, like you say that he didn't pray, I'm praying on his name, and this, you got it, right?
Mhm.
We can do qurbani on someone's name, right? We can do it. Why? It's a contradiction. Like I'm saying to you one thing to not do it. Salah is more important or the qurbani or Hajj? Salah. So someone has to do the Salah instead of what? Hajj. Right?
Yeah.
Right? So why is this? We're going to study all these things, right? That's what I have to just tell you. We should know this as a Muslim, right? Why you have to do this, why you don't have to do this. Okay. The Sunnah, like really, please try to make this focus because I'm bringing you just to make it easier for you. After that, you just have a lot of things and everything I'm going to put it here, right? The Sunnah. See, I just said that it's not compulsory. It's not compulsory. First of all, I tell you that Sunnah, if it's a fard or wajib, the Prophet has done this, right? So why do I have to put Sunnah here? The Sunnah is, the scholars, they say that if you do it, you will be rewarded. If you don't do it, there's nothing, it's accepted, right? But there are scholars, they say it's a muakkada. Muakkada means if you don't do it, you are sinner, right? We're going to talk about you have to do it, you don't have to, this is other story, right? Muakkada, when they say one is the muakkada and ghair muakkada, if you don't do it, you are sinner, right? You are sinner, right? So what about it? I'm saying the opposite thing, right? Right?
What is repeat?
They say that there are 2 types of sunnah, right? One is muakkada and the other one is ghair muakkada. Let me give you an example, right? Example is the sunnah muakkada means whatever you do it, right? There are 4 rakahs before Asr, right? If you do it, they consider it's a ghair muakkada. Tahiyyatul masjid, when you go to the masjid, right? Before you sit down, you have to do it, right? So this is, they say it's a ghair muakkada. If you do it, good. The 2 rakahs after your wudu, right?
Yeah.
If you do it, good. If you don't, good. You got it, right? This one.
These are all there.
These are agama. Just to make a difference, right? Huh?
What about the Jummah? There's 4 sunnah we pray on.
Yeah, that's a different opinion. We're gonna come there. Just stay with me, right? You got it, right? So these are ghair muakkada, right? Especially the 4 rakahs before Asr, right? If you do it, okay. If you don't do it, you are not sinner. Okay. What about the 2 rakat?
After the Maghrib,
after
they are
the-
mu'akkada.
they are
You
mu'akkada.
have to do it.
You have to. If you don't do it, you are sinning,
Sin.
right? You got it? And it's a sunnah. I'm saying sunnah. So what about it? I said not compulsory. And it's accepted. So I'm wrong, right? I'm wrong. You have to say this, right? I'm wrong, right?
Yeah.
I'm wrong, right?
Yeah.
I'm not wrong, right? The thing is, see, what happens here, right? Listen. The thing is, what happens is, there are two outside. If you go outside, there are like two different strong opinions, right? You know, what I'm presenting you is 3 scholars, like 3 imams. They say that the mostly like, except the Imam Abu Hanifa, he goes that he says this one. So one is mu'akkada and ghair mu'akkada, and in reality there is no difference. That's what I'm gonna talk about. This is the first example, right? When you say that Quran and Hadith is same, so why they have different opinion, right? They have different opinion because we don't have enough knowledge to just get it, right? To examine these things. So let me tell you that. They say that Imam Hanifa, he said that there is one sunnah mu'akkada recommended and the other one is not recommended, right? He is, you got it, right? And I'm not following him, right? Here. Okay, so what about the other scholar? Other scholars say that, listen, just to make it easier, I'm saying that if I'm talking, there are 2 scholars. One is here, that's we see the other one. The other one is the scholar A and the scholar B, right? They say that there is sunnah has 2, one mu'akkada and ghair mu'akkada, and they say that, listen, they're gonna tell this imam, just don't confuse people, right? Don't confuse people. We have confused them enough. Here we said compulsory and then we said the ranking, right? And you are trying to do it here, sunnah, and trying to make the ranking. So that's why they say that sunnah, if it's a what? Mu'akkida, sunnah, if it's a mu'akkida, it's gonna go here. So you just consider it with the wajib, right? The example is the beard, right? You got it? It's not everyone talks about it's a sunnah, it's a sunnah, it's a sunnah, right? They say it's a sunnah, right? They say a sunnah, yeah, it's a sunnah, it's a sunnah. To wear the, like, to, okay, I'm going to talk about it. It's a sunnah, but they say that it's a kind of sunnah, if you don't do it, you will be sinner. That's why they consider it a wajib. So mean that there is a just difference in the terminologies. One say it's a mu'akkida, the other say, yeah, just don't give people hard time. Let's consider this thing here, wajib, right? It's a just terminology difference, right? So all you have to consider these things extra, right? Credit. I gave you one of the example, like from the prayer, because that's what we use it, do it, right? There are a lot of sunnah. The Prophet didn't wear in his whole life, you know, something stitched, right? They say the one hadith that he did one time, you know, in Pakistan they have the shalwar, he did it one time. The whole his life he just have a one, they say lungi, right? A dhoti or lungi, that's what he has done this. So what about now? We have to do it here. It's considered what? The sunnah. That goes with the culture. Like we're gonna talk about it, right? You can do it. But when it comes to the beard, like it's gonna go here to the wajib. So it's just playing with the terminologies, right? But I gave you that. I gave you 3 compulsory things. One was the compulsory. The other one is not compulsory. If you do it, you will be rewarded. The third thing is compulsory to leave, right? You got it? So when they say nafal, sunnah, mustahab, just it's the extra credit, right? Everything is here, extra credit, right? Right? You got it, right?
Question.
Right.
When you say mustahab, like conditions of salah, this is before we begin the salah or this is during salah. Can you give me an example of mustahab?
Mustahab, right? So that's why, like, mustahab mean, if you just go to the terminology, istahab, like mustahab means something liked, yeah? It's the same thing here, disliked, right? So something there liked, right? That's my question is, if I say that mustahab, they say something liked by Islam, by Allah or Prophet, right? This thing liked by Allah. 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 So that's why I'm just trying to. Yeah, people are, I don't want to say this, when the people just take the knowledge of Islam, they're not smart enough, right? Otherwise they say that what's going on here and there, right? You got it, right? These are the things. These are extra credit. Whenever you send, they say mustahabba, they say nafal, they say sunnah, right? If there's sunnah, someone has to specify it's a wajib. But when it comes wajib, then you have to be careful about it, right? You have to take it, right? Either. So in reality, there is going to be one thing, fard and wajib, and it's going to be very clear, right? When we're going to come in the prayer, everything is going to be very clear, right? Here, there was the difference between the fard and the wajib. Each and every action, when we're going to go in the fast or prayer and everything, it will make a difference, right? But I gave you that it has a rank, but both things are compulsory, right? Let me give you one example from the prayer, right? When you do sajda, right, it's a fard. When you do sajda, it's a fard, right? And to do like when you add some surah with it, like some surah, you add it, like when you say Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen first rakah, right? And to add a surah with it, it's a wajib, right? You got it? There's a difference. We can talk about it, and really, this thing was really important, and people don't know about it. Because if you don't know this one, what if you miss a sajda? What's gonna happen?
Here is complete.
Yeah, so that's what we're gonna. What if you don't read a surah with it, right?
It's not
Why?
namaz surah, if you don't read it, it's not nullified. The namaz.
Both are compulsory, right?
Compulsory.
You got it right. I'm proving it. I'm gonna prove the whole this one. But this was really important thing, right? It took a long time. I couldn't go back to this one, like. But still, I have 5 minutes, right? Right? Okay. So is it clear, right? Is it clear, right? Is it clear, right? Okay. Because this thing is gonna go everywhere, right? If you continue, it's good for you, right? If you don't continue, like everything is gonna go there. Like I'm not gonna repeat this thing, right? I will give you slide for this. Yeah, I have it. So I have slide, right? If I use a slide, I won't be able to do all this, right? You know that.
So sunnah, one type of sunnah comes in the compulsory category, and another one is not.
Listen, the thing is, what happens is sunnah. If the sunnah, everything, even the Prophet has done it, right? He did it, right? Right?
Yes.
What about wajib? He did it, right? So sunnah, if you just look at, and I can just, if the sunnah is really very, very important, right? It could go here. If it's really not kind of, if you compare it, it can go here. And in reality, the sunnah, you have to put it there, like here. It should come here, like. But when we mean sunnah here, it means sunnah. Okay, yeah, you can take this too, right? Yeah. But just, I want to make this thing easier for you. Otherwise, if I just go in the details, we just not gonna come back. So we have just 3 compulsories, right? Three compulsory. And if it's difficult for you, just here, so you're gonna say make hajj, right? Makruh and then haram, right? Make salah now. These are mustahab and then sunnah and then nafal. It's a for worship, it's a for and this is